blown away by the vulnerability. Thank you so much, Mrs. Ehinor. The way you shared your story is so relatable. It's so beautiful. God bless you. God bless you, everyone, for coming out and pouring into us in an authentic way. I feel like we've been schooled in so many ways. God bless you, ma. You are a light to your generation, and I am honored to be in the same space with you. God bless you, ma'am. So we're going to have question and answer section. And honestly, if I am being totally honest, Mrs. Say, you did answer a lot of my questions. You went in, I think you were ready, you were prepared for me. And the way you answered, the way you explained and gave us your story, you've answered a lot of my questions. And it would just be redundant for me to keep repeating those questions when you've answered. But there is one question that just came to my mind when you were speaking. And I want you to speak now to those people. Now, I'm saying those people, when I ask this question, you would understand. My church people, my believers, that woman that is pointing finger at another woman, that is sharing the story of another woman because you have heard a thing or two. Please, can you tell them? Can you please help me tell them how we're supposed to be our brother's keeper in a situation like that? You've said the law, but I know it will be better coming from you. Tell them off. This is your unmask with them. Tell them off, please, ma.
Okay, so in my place, for those that are Africans or Nigerians that are listening, they say when you bend down to be looking at somebody's bum bum, you don't know how many are looking at yours. What does that mean? Jesus said, anyone who has not sinned, cast that first stone. It means that even if you have not committed adultery, you have sinned in another way. And just because somebody, you sin differently doesn't make you less of a sinner. As a church people, as Christians, isn't it sad that people mask up because of church people? People of the world don't really mask because they go to the beer parlor, they talk about their problems, and the solution is coming left and right from the beer parlor. You go to church, that is supposed to be a safe space, and it's almost like the world wants to fall on you. If you are that kind of person, please stop. We don't know what tomorrow holds for us. Nobody prays for immigration issues. Nobody prays for marital breakdown. Nobody prays for children to be wayward. Nobody prays for anything negative. And just because it's happening to a fellow sister or a fellow brother, the right thing to do is to hold their hands, to say, I am here for you. You are not alone. Even if it's their fault, even if the problem, they caused it, we are not in the position to judge. It is God's responsibility, not yours. Your own is to listen and to be able to support them. Otherwise, why are we Christians? If we are all righteous, why are we going to church? Just because my own story is out doesn't mean you don't have your story. Christians, we need to start doing better.
That's right.
8 out of 10 women will tell you they can't talk about the immigration. They can't talk about what is happening. Why? Because they're afraid of what the church will say. And it breaks my heart.
It's terrible.
I was telling somebody my marriage breakdown didn't do so bad. I almost committed suicide because of the church. Was that bad. Even when I wanted to start the organization, the pastor was preaching. Oh, I've heard some people want to be wonderfully made. Are they even wonderfully made? What do you think that could have done to me? I have gone to meet a pastor to say, this is my vision, this is what God... And the first thing she will ask me is, you are divorced. How can God use a divorced woman? In Manchester here. So I had to run away. That's why I'm never afraid to lose friends or family members. So the church has to do a lot. We are not broken. In a place where there is so much competition, self-righteousness, who is without sin? No one. So just because that person's sin is out, all you want to do is gossip. What does that even do for you? How does that make you progress? Today is, by next month, is 14 years in Wonderfully Made Woman. I can count how many people who laughed at me then, who are now single mothers. Nobody knows what tomorrow holds. Nobody. We only pray for good things, but then challenges will come. So we need to be careful.
Wow.
I know a woman who so much stigmatized me, and her only daughter was going through exactly what I went through.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
And they were right in my office. So please, church people, before you bend down to look at someone, you don't know how many will be looking at you.
Thank you so much. You,
Thank you.
thank you, ma. You said that so beautifully, so beautifully. It's not just because yours is covered today doesn't mean you are better than anyone. And you have heard my church sister and my church brother. See, let's be careful. Let's be careful. Stigmatizing and victimizing someone because of their current situation. You don't know what is ahead for you. You might think you have prepared, your own is a love story, or your own immigration. In fact, you got your British passport from Nigeria, or whatever situation, or your health, you run, you jog, you have everything under control, but you don't know what is ahead. Be careful. And we are supposed to be Christ follower. Jesus Christ never judged anyone. He never judged, even the one that did the thing. They brought a woman, that has been in adultery. They brought, and Jesus said, "Where are the people who accused you, woman? Because I didn't. I don't accuse. I didn't accuse you." So we have to be careful. Thank you so much for sharing that story. Now, Coach Sonia, I want to come to you because I have a question for you. So, thinking about everything that we've shared today and some of the things that our children have also shared with us, our teenagers, honestly, they were really, really fantastic. Please say thank you to every single one of them. God bless you guys. And I pray more wisdom for them. He says, when we observe that we are parenting from our trauma, because somebody raised a question in the comment section saying most parents, they are not doing it intentionally. They are only doing what they themselves, have been shown or how they were raised. So when we observe, maybe because we've been in a beautiful conference, an enlightening conference like this, and we observe that we're parenting from trauma, and we know the impact that is having on our relationship and the children that we're bringing forth. How do we change that? What will you say is the first thing that we can do to turn around? Because we don't want to keep going round the circles. How do we change that?
Thank you very much, Ronnie. I grew up in a place where everything, as in when you know that things are serious, the voice will go up. If you have been told to do things and you do not hear, it's like, like this shouting will come. And I observed that over and over. And gradually, when I became a mother, I was a shouter. If you notice, I said I was a shouter. So when I repeat things over, can you pick your toy? Pick your toy. Can you take that toy off the floor? Can you? And then the voice goes up. And then one day my daughter told me, when you shout out of the blue, there was no shouting going on. She just turned around and looked at me and said, Mommy, when you shout sometimes, I switch off. I don't hear you anymore. I said, I didn't. She said, I switch off. I don't hear you anymore. I was like, what? You mean you don't even? You said, no, I switch off. So what that means is that I was destroying my vocal cords. I was destroying my voice. I was having headache. And the person I thought it was impacting or maybe, getting her attention. She said she switched off. That hit me really hard. She was still a teenager. Now she's 17. She was still a toddler, just in primary school. So I started helping myself gradually, and then I gave them permission. So the first thing is to accept. You know, there are some mothers when they give you feedback, especially when it's coming from your children, you defend and you have excuse. Keep quiet there. What is wrong with you? You're being disrespectful. We hide everything in the guise of disrespectful. So we need to accept it, acknowledge it. And that's what I did. Was it easy? No, it was painful for me to listen to. But then I realized that it was not working. And then I gave them permission. I said, whenever mommy raised her voice, just say, mommy, you are shouting again. There's a reset. It was like a reset in my head. Immediately I hear that word, mommy, you are shouting again. I said, oh, but I've told you many times, you see my voice going down. So give your children permission to hold you accountable, or give your spouse to hold you accountable. But it will be better for the person that has observed and is at the receiving end to hold you accountable, because they will be the one that will be there. So whatever parenting you are doing, if you are paranoid, if you are always assuming and everything, give that person permission to hold you accountable. And when you are held accountable, when they tell you, take it as a feedback and you keep working at it. Keep working at it. And now, even my oldest is telling me, because my youngest is 7, the oldest is 17. And then she goes, mommy, you've changed so much. Ah, mommy, you've changed so much. That's what she keeps telling me. She's having it easy. You changed so much. That's because I spent time and I invested in myself. I find other ways to communicate, or maybe just turn my face, give them time. And then I come back to it again. And then I said, I did tell you to do this. So the shouting is not there anymore. So you have to be aware. So acknowledge, right? Once it's been identified, accept it, behold, and then let people hold you accountable, and just keep trying and trying and trying. The more you try, the more you practice, the better you become. That's what I would say.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. That is spot on.
Oh, one more
Acknowledge-
thing. One more
Okay.
thing. And please, parents, let's not be prideful. If we slip to our old ways, excuse me, apologize. I don't remember my parents apologizing to me. They didn't apologize to me. They're like, hey, you should have listened. Hey, you know, I was like, but you did this. No, you should have. So come. Oh, yeah, come is enough. But they will say
Yeah.
sorry. But me, I'm very quick to say sorry. So if they say, mommy, you've done it, I say, I'm sorry. Can you please just go and do it now? So I apologize. So if you sleep, be compassionate on yourself and just apologize and try again. Just keep at it.
Yeah.
That's what I
And
would say.
again, it's modeling. You're modeling to them that they can, fail at things or not keep their words, but
Yeah.
they can try again. You're modeling that nobody's perfect. You're modeling how they themselves will become. This is such an important conversation. Emotional maturity, and as Africans, I want to say Nigerians, but as Africans, we hide behind, oh, we don't deal with emotions, but we have emotions. God gave us emotions, and just learning how to modulate and moderate and take away and hard and behave, is just an emotional intelligence that every human being need to have. And many of us, just as a point that I want to add, many of us, we hide under the disguise that we are Africans and we don't know how to work well with our emotions. But you go to work and you actually you sit straight. You don't go there and shout when you work with someone that is way younger than you, or someone that is the mate of your children. You apologize when you're wrong because it's in an official space or something like that. So this is very, very important. Thank you for saying that. And my next question is for Madam Ehinor. I like to call you lady, and I don't know which one I'm allowed to say it, but it's just because I see MB, behind your name, and I feel like there is an accolade I need to add to it, and not just, not just let that go. Like I said, we are honored to have you. So there's a question here from a single woman who said that, she said, I am a single parent. I can't blend with the young adults. I can't blend with the married women in my religious community. And it is very, very frustrating. How do I build my support network to prevent isolation?
Okay, thank you. It's a common question anyway, especially from women that are Christians, because if you even look at the church programs, you see that there's a marriage seminar or single seminar. There is none for single parents, right? So you are just in between. Even Valentine, they will say marriage seminar or people who want to. What of those who don't want to, who are in the middle? I've always said one thing, just because you go to church doesn't necessarily mean that your friends should be church members. Yes, it's easier to make friends from the church, but it's not always compulsory that they have to be your church members. So if you're finding it difficult to blend, maybe because of what they say or how they see themselves, I've been in a group before, and when they want to introduce themselves is, hello, I am Mrs. This, the wife of da 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 da. I went the first time and the second time, that was years ago. By the time they asked me to come the third time, I didn't go. Even though most of them were my friends in the same church, I didn't go. Why? Because I did not fit in. All they were talking about is their husband. Is me. I didn't have husband. So what did I do? I look for people like me. There will always be somebody like you. That is not to say all married women don't support single mothers. No. There will always be one or two that understand, maybe because they've been there before or they have family members or friends that have been there before. But the truth is, if you have never been a single parent or associated with them, you can never understand them. So it will be difficult to mingle with them really. So I will say, how many hours do you go to church anyway? How many hours is church program? You can actually be by yourself. Salutation is not that you must bond. You can greet them. Maybe you're in the same department, choir, ushering, whatever. You can talk, have a chat, and it ends there. Find closer friendship outside of the space. Thankfully, if you're in this country, there's so many organizations where they don't judge. Or if you're going to work, your colleagues are there. I built a network of friendship that became even like sisters in my workplace years ago. That relationship still exists up till now, even after I left that place, I think 2014. So anywhere you are not accepted, anywhere you're not comfortable, nobody has tied you there. You can look for friendship elsewhere. Most importantly, learn to be by yourself and be comfortable as well. What if everybody doesn't want you? What would you do? And maybe your good friends are not even in that church. Maybe they are not even Christians. Maybe they're just that colleague that sits beside you. So I totally can relate to her this thing because I've been there before, but all I did was to look for friendship outside of that space to give yourself peace of mind.
Wow.
Otherwise you'll be forcing yourself, you get pained, anger comes in, and they said if you're a born again Christian, the pastor used to say, it's not adultery or fornication that God will use to hold, devil will use to hold you. You see that bitterness, that anger, it's something we do sometimes without even knowing how deep it is. So please look for friendship outside of your church if you're not comfortable or they're not comfortable with you.
Well, thank
That's
you
what
very
I
much.
advise here.
Thank you very much, ma. Thank you for saying that. Look for friendship outside of your church, outside of the circle, create your own friendship and just, be happy with yourself as well. Until you get those friends, be happy alone. Learn to be happy by yourself. These are very important points. Go to circles that understands your struggle, understands what you're going through. Don't force yourself into a space just because you want to keep with friends that knows you from church. Thank you. These are all very practical points as well. So my next question is for Coach Sonia. So you explained this a lot as well in the I think it was in the morning session when you were talking about how relocation can really affect and magnify some problems, unresolved trauma and things like that. So how can we start taking steps? How can we, since we have acknowledged some of the problems that can exist as a result of that change, like you mentioned in the morning, you said it was unmasking some of the pains of relocation that we never want to talk about. Everybody just want to celebrate the fact that we now live in the abroad, right? But how can we now begin to take simple steps to resolve some of the trauma that we have now picked up, maybe as a result of relocation, or trauma that we had before that has now been magnified, right? So how can we begin to unmask them, resolve them, so that we can live an harmonious life?
Thank you very much. We have to be ready to be vulnerable. We have to start from a place of vulnerability and know that, because I found out that a lot of our people, we find it really difficult to be vulnerable because you don't want people to laugh at you, because you don't want people to gossip about you, because there's a lot of because. So let's be ready to be vulnerable. And people bond with you more. The real people bond with you more in your state of vulnerability. It's the fake one that will be revealed when you get vulnerable. So let's be ready with that. Also, we need to learn to seek help. There are some trauma that has been triggered because of unresolved deep traumas. So that one needs to be resolved. So seek support. There are loads of services. You can go for counseling. You can go for group talking therapy as well. It helps a lot knowing that you are not the only one that has experienced that pain, and just learning from one another using the tools that will be shared in the session. It goes a long way. Then the third one is be ready to do the work, because we know that these things has happened and it has left a mark. But if you have a physical injury and you go to the hospital, you are treated, we both know that it's insufficient. You now have to treat that wound. You have to make sure it is clean and you put the necessary treatment, else it can be infected even though you've been to the hospital. So you now need to do the right thing and be consistent with it. And the days that you miss the mark, be compassionate with yourself. And another thing again is learn to build support system. Nobody is an island of his or herself. Build support system that will help you. You hear what Mama Ehinor said. She said when she has helped the women and sometimes she gets overwhelmed, then she will call and say, I need support myself. In counseling, you call it supervision. Every counselor have to go for supervision. Because when people are pouring on you, it doesn't matter how strong you are. There are some things that will trigger your own emotions. And you feel, there's some people that are big empaths, whereby when other people are feeling bad, they grab their energy. They feel so empathetic towards the person, right? And it drains their energy. So this is why you now go for supervision. So I would say you need to also make sure that you build a support system, so that the days that you feel like, oh, today something happened, I don't really have the energy, I just need a bit of support. It might be support in picking your children up. It might be support in helping with one or two things. It helps a lot. So have a support system. Please don't be a pest. Some people build support systems so they can use other people. As you are taking, also give. When this hand wash this hand and this hand wash this hand, both hands becomes clean. So if you want to have a support system, also be a support system to to your own support system as well. It is so important. And another thing again is, remember, it is not a quick race. You did not experience that trauma today. It left a big wound. Give it time and trust the process and be consistent with it. And time, they say, heal the wound, but a wound that was not treated cannot be healed. So give it time and keep on making that adjustment. And the last but not the least is renew your mind. Go for self-development. Some people, they are just doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. It's not possible. Go for self-development. Be self-aware, be mindful, be observant, know your triggers, and know how to manage it per time. And before you know it, you will be good and take responsibility for your healing, because nobody will do it for you but you. All right, thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. That was really packed. That was really packed. Nobody's coming to save you except you. Take responsibility for your healing. And almost everything you shared sounds like what Mama did share in her share. Vulnerability. Accept where you are today. Say to yourself, this is where I have found myself. I love how Mama says it when she was speaking. She was saying how she calls herself, hey, this is where you are. I will never forget that voice and the way you said it, Ma. Hey, this is where you are. Thank you so much. And I have a final question. Our time is fast spent, but I'm just going to give Mama this final question, and I hope you can, do it justice in about a minute. This person said domestic abuse has turned me into a shadow of myself. How can I break the shame without feeling like I am dishonoring my family?
At some point, you may have to dishonor your family, because if you die, nobody's going to go to the grave with you. Nobody went with Osinachi. Your families are not the one that are being affected directly. And honestly, there's nothing to be ashamed of. Even if you were covering up before, there is still nothing to be ashamed of. Like I said when I was talking, if you need help, talk to Sonia. We can help you. There is help for you. I've been there before, and so many people have been there before. You can still come out. You can still be renewed. Don't hide. How long are you going to hide? How long are you going to, compress your dreams because of what has happened to you? You can change that. You can change the narrative and become a better version of you. I'm so sorry you had to go through domestic abuse, but there is help available. I don't know if you live in Manchester, wherever you are, there is help. There is nothing to be ashamed of. It's like somebody came to steal your food, and you're the one ashamed that they came to steal your food. Somebody has abused you. Why are we ashamed? It's happened to a lot of people, including myself. There's nothing to be ashamed of. We can help you and you can bounce back. A lot of people have bounced back. So I'm really praying that you're able to step out to say, you know what? Yes, I'm going to unmask. I'm going to break that silence, What's the worst that can happen? They laugh at you and say you're not a Proverb 31 woman. Then what? It's not going to take anything from you, It can even make God can do it in such a way that you become someone helping other people. I always say everything that has happened to people in their lives, somehow God has a way of turning it around. So please seek help. We are here for you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ma. Seek help. There is nothing new under the sun. You shouldn't be the one carrying the burden of the shame. The fact that you got in a relationship and is abusive is not your fault. Seek help. Thank you so much. God bless you, Ma. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your words of wisdom. Thank you for pouring out. Thank you for being unashamed. Thank you for being real. You brought your authentic self, and I'm sure many people would connect with you in that way, as I surely did. God bless you, Ma. And we appreciate your presence. Thank you. Thank you, Coach Sonia. For this opportunity, for the platform, for the whole event. It's just been amazing. So I'm just going to very quickly give everyone that is still here, what is on offer from the organization of Coach Sonia. We've been talking about being rooted and being connected, living an harmonious life. As a family, nobody, no matter where you are today, irrespective of what trauma you grew up with or what circumstance is in your family, everybody wants a peaceful life. Everybody wants a family, that is connected, well connected, where there is something on offer for the kids, and what is on offer for them is harmonious living. You all want a life where your kids can talk to you, you can talk to them, you can connect. But we know that sometimes the things that have been built in us, the way we've been raised, they get in the way. And as a parent, you want the best for your children, you want the best for your family, you want a peaceful home. That is your desire. You want an understanding children, understanding spouse. But real connections require more than just love. It requires more than just talking about it, especially when you know that you've grown up in a place where there is trauma, there's been trauma, there's been pain. So Coach Sonia has gladly curated a course, that can help you stay rooted and connected to the blueprint of what your family needs. So in this online course, you will find how to learn each other's love language. And when I say that, it's not just you and your spouse love language, it is understanding even your children's love language. What do my children like? How do I get to them? Because if you don't speak their love language, it might be difficult to really get across. Like the example Coach Sonia gave when her daughter said, "Mommy, when you shout, I switch off." At that point, nobody is listening to one another, and all she's doing is shouting. So to identify personalities, temperament, to reduce misunderstanding, to discover your family's character strength, to build meaningful family vision, mission, and value, to break negative patterns and create emotional safety at home. All of these things can be achieved and you can break them. If you're listening right now, you can click on the link that is going in front of your screen and just see what this course have to offer you and your family. And just for today, it is 50% off whatever amount that it is there. It's an investment that when you make in your family, you will come back and say, thank you for giving me the opportunity to invest. So please don't be like those people who like to hear good things, and when it's time to be involved in the good things, to be in a place where they are actually partaker of it, where they now have to sow something into it, they start complaining. Okay, you know that you've been here all day, you were in the morning session and the evening session, and you heard a lot of good things. So just imagine what is there to gain when you connect with this course. So please click on the link and subscribe to this course. It's an online course, you don't need to go anywhere, but it's a course, especially as we're going into the new year. This might be the time where you actually do the work of what it takes to get your family to where it needs to be. This might be the time where you sit down and say, I am not happy with the situation of things, but I'm not just going to be somebody who talks about not being happy, but I'm going to be someone who actually do something about not being happy. Okay, being calm, creating peaceful and harmonious home. There are things you can learn. There are skills you can master. There are ways you can create it. They don't just fall on us, right? But there are things that you can learn to get there. So I am begging you, I am asking you, I am employing you to please click on the link as you see it on your screen, okay? Because you do get a 50% off on the course for today. Thank you so very much. Coach Sonia, are you there?
I am here.
Thank you so very much. Thank
Thank
you.
you very much. Thank you very much, Ronnie. You have been super, super amazing. Thank you very much.
So
Angel,
abuses.
thank you so much for anchoring, the second session. I really do appreciate you. Thank you very much. Mama, thank you, all the speakers. Pastor Adeso Akashiku, God bless you. I appreciate you, and I really do celebrate you. Lady Mo, thank you very much. Ebere, Thank you very, very much. Thank you so, so much. And who else has spoken today? I'm trying to think. Lady D, thank you very, very much, for making this possible. Mama Ehinor has told me, he said, this thing has to be physical the next time. She's not the first person that is saying it. You've done this in your life, Sonia. It's time to come out and also put this thing physical. Yes, and please, when you're online, don't worry. We can do it in such a way that you will have the physical, but you can see hear it online. So that is what we are praying towards. For those of you that register for this, you will get a feedback link. Please do well to read it well, because you will see the link to join the WhatsApp group for Resilience Bridge Sick. So we are going to be using this for school advocacy. If you want to know more about school advocacy for your children, we're going to be helping you with that. And also for your mental, emotional, and physical well-being, we are going to be doing different webinars, and we are going to be sharing useful information, bringing trainers in to come and speak to you as well. So it's not one of those groups that will be spamming you, it's the one that will help you grow. Remember, before you make your New Year resolution, you need to add this to it, your personal development. What are you going to do to ensure that you personally develop this year and you do not remain the same? You have to renew your mind. And the only way you can renew your mind is when you are investing in your knowledge, you are applying it as well as you get along. The third knowledge is wisdom, but applied knowledge, that's what I call it, is what is wisdom. So make sure you get the course as well. I think when you convert it to pounds, is about 19.99 or so. That is a very, very good price. Grab it, look at it, and find a way on how to create systems and structures for your family the way you do in your business and in your organization. I would have loved to say I will see you next year, but next year, Positive Intentional Diaspora Parenting Conference will be around November 14th. However, it's not going to be annually now. We are going to be doing those webinars, and we have the final big ones in November 2026. So thank you so, so much for joining us. I celebrate you all the participants. Patience, please send your address to me so I can send you my book. Because you have been very, very active. There was someone that was very active again in the evening. Patience was active as well, but there was someone else. I can't remember the name now. But thank you so much, and God bless. So bye for now.